That was pretty.
Ben's research points to a whole new way of engaging children in digital worlds. It's about exploring, it's about learning, and it's about sharing that experience with parents.
And orange and blue.
Super. I'm Ben Fletcher-Watson and I'm a doctoral researcher at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. I'm looking at early years theatre in Scotland, which means theatre productions for children aged 5 and under. My research is funded by the ESRC, and I noticed a call from the ESRC for industry placements, and I was very lucky to meet up with Simon and Jonathan from Hippotrix, who were developing an app based on the children's theatre production White, which was made by Catherine Wheel's Theatre Company.
When we made the show, people were really keen that there was something they could take away with them. And I think because we're British, we're very coy about doing merchandise and things. But when the idea of an app came about, it seemed like, well, this is perfect. This is a perfect way of extending this experience.
White is probably the most successful show to have come out of Scotland for children. So we were very excited to be collaborating with Catherine Wheels on it.
The first thing I wanted to do was to see how my existing research could feed into the process of app development. It's quite a new area for me, not something I've worked on before. I started off by carrying out a comparative analysis of all of the early years apps that were out at the time. So we were looking at interactions, visuals, sound, the way that gameplay was constructed, in order to try and see if there were any commonalities that we could use for creating the White app. I also looked at applying the emerging theory from my doctoral research to see if there was a framework that could be created comparing theatre and apps. ESRC support allowed the levering of funds from Creative Scotland, which supported the expansion of Hippotrix as a company. One of the aims was to produce a framework for early years apps that can be applied not only to Hippotrix products, so they're making 5 more apps after the first White app, but also for other theatre companies and maybe even other digital developers to use in order to really improve the standard of early years products.
The funding support has certainly helped our company grow. We've moved premises, and since the launch of the app, we've had numerous opportunities.
Lynn Gardner said, the show starts when you first hear about it, and it ends when you stop thinking about it. And for me, the idea of the app is a lovely way of the show continuing, and they have a way of referring back to the show and having thoughts about it. I get some people now who say to me, we're really looking forward to seeing the show because my kids don't stop playing the app.
So I've spoken at a number of creative industries conferences, and Simon and Jonathan have been able to showcase the apps at several other industry events. We've also managed to get engagement with policymakers, including the Culture Secretary and the Finance Secretary, who were both very, very impressed with the app. In terms of the future, obviously the app will continue to be available, but also people who may never see the show from countries where the show hasn't toured were able to download the product and experience the world of White for themselves.
What I love about the app is that it takes the show and it realises it in a digital format. It's different enough, it's got different activities in it, but it's recognisable enough. So the children look at it and they go, it's kind of not inspired by it, it feels like it's part of, which feels nice to me.